So we can officially say that Muzzas Beer Garden has sort of been a sort of christened. And here is the furniture I whitewashed here, complete with dog scratchings, because the dog loves my plot plants, loves getting into the garden. And my little banana trees. But I tell you what, you'd be dead without a bit of mozzie spray. And if you're coming over to Bali, I'd probably suggest get some of that either the roll-on or the rub-on Bushman, because it works really well on the mozzies over here. And there is a bit of dengue fever. So dengue fever's not something you want to contract, because it can take months and months to get over. So if you're outside at night time, especially in still areas, and especially in places like Ubud where there's lots of water and rice paddies and all that sort of stuff, I definitely recommend you cover yourself in some mozzie spray. So last night I had a couple of subscribers that had come over, they wanted to catch up, so we said let's go outside out the back, and we christened Muzzas Beer Garden. Well, I got to tell you the truth. So okay, when we first got these chairs, they were cheap. They only took about a week to turn up from Java, and they were a bit rough, and I had to do all the hand painting and everything myself and rub them down. But the first day I sat on one of the big double seats like this one here, and my bum went straight through it. So last night, the other chair that I didn't test drive, two of my guests sat down on it, went straight through the bottom. So last night, part of the beer garden expedition was to go and find some more wood, and we had to put a couple of braces underneath just to support our big Western bums. I love it. We've got a surprise coming. I've got a wedding present from my brother Katut that means a lot to me, and that's turning up this afternoon, so it's going to go right here in the garden. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's pretty special. I'm going to wait for that, but I'm going to have to clear a bit of an area out because it sort of fills up that whole area next to the big spa hut and in amongst the garden. So that's my next thing. I've got Buckmull, Buck sitting there working on my kitchen. Now, I don't have any overhead kitchen cupboards, and we're going to have like an L-shaped cupboard, and it's all made out of recycled pallets. So look, it's been a bit of a mission because they're a bit uneven and hickledy-pickledy, but I'll come into the kitchen. Where it's going to come from here beside the stove and run across there and right up down here, because to be honest, we actually don't have a lot of cupboard space, and I actually haven't got around to putting cupboards and drawers and stuff underneath, so we'll get there. But meanwhile, Bar Parker's turned around and said he's helping us out with a bit of woodwork. So he's recycling all these pallet timbers. They've been milled and planed down, and now he's joining them all together and making a big overhead cupboard. It's beautiful, just stunning. And again, like, he's never without a cigarette hanging out his mouth, and he's just slowly getting everything done just to perfection. What makes it really hard for him to do that is there's nothing square in this whole house. The walls aren't square, the corners aren't square, you name it. So he's actually measured everything by hand. I'll be amazed if he's got it right, but I won't be, because I've never seen anyone so fussy and so fastidious of what he's doing. But I want to tell you about a little project I've had. Where do I start? Okay, I'll run back in the office over here, so let's go back to the office. I wanted somewhere with my office that I can film, so I've got some lights. I'm actually going to put some bars overhead, but it's a bit boomy in here, and it's been no good for filming with microphones and stuff because the acoustics are all bouncing off concrete walls. So what you really need to do is, and you've seen people with egg cartons or foam, and they line the walls, and the best thing about the foam is or egg cartons, they've got different shapes, and so the acoustics sort of bounce off the shapes and they don't come straight back in your face. So anything that acts as a diffuser for the audio helps to stop that bounce. And we're going to put some, maybe, I'm thinking Balinese, so I'm thinking maybe like a big grass sort of carpet, and I can put that up on the wall behind a computer or things like that. I wanted something that was going to be a little bit arty, a little bit fun, a bit challenging to make, and everyone thinks I'm an absolute idiot, but you know me, they're probably right. But what I've come up with is I sort of also wanted a map of Bali on the wall, and I went looking for a big map so I could turn around and say this is where we're going and point to it on the map. I couldn't really find one, so I thought, okay, well, what if I was to cut out a shape of Bali and put it up on the wall? I could work with that. I had a big sheet of ply left over. That's like 8 foot by 4 foot in size. So, and I thought, but I still need to break the sound up a little bit. So I'm going to go upside down here under the table. So here's what I've got. I've done like a slat wall, a timber slat wall. Here we go. And it's upside down because on the other side of the slat wall, I'll come down the other side, I've had hundreds of these bits of recycled pallets cut up, and if you recognise that, here's a map of Bali. Well, actually, if you look closely, here's a map of Bali in reverse. So you flip it over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut Bali out of this map, cut along these lines, and remember it's got all these little pieces of wood that are being glued and screwed up. In fact, look, if you see it's all screwed, we've been through nearly 1,000 screws just so that where there's a join or where there's a cut, we're not going to go and the wood's not going to just fall off. So I'll tell you what, it's taken me and, you know, Al, my mate, the old retiree with the mobility scooter. Well, Al was saying he was bored, and he's a woodworker. He's worked in the army most of his life, but he loves to tinker around with woodwork. And I said, "Have I got a job for you, pal?" So he's come over the last few days. We've lost kilograms of sweat. It's so hot under this roof, but we're having a little project. We're trying our luck with cutting this map out, and then just to really set it off, once we've cut the shape of it out, I'm going to put LEDs behind it and have the LEDs glowing all around the edges. I reckon they'll look really cool, and I'm really keen to see what you guys think of it, because I tell you what, it's taken a lot of work and it's been a bit of fun. Oh my God, it's been frustrating. Hey, you'll love this. I heard another Bunnings moment. Now remember back a few months or a few weeks ago, I spent like weeks, just it seemed like months, looking for a damn paint scraper. And so we sorted paint, and I had paint scrapers from Bunnings all over Australia turning up here with every person that come on an aeroplane just about gave me a paint scraper. Thank God for that, because we've used most of them up, but they were bloody good. So I had a paint scraper moment. Al was on the back of my bike yesterday morning. We went looking for some bits and pieces. We worked out how we were going to do this. Now, what I love about Bali is tools here are bloody cheap. We picked up a little jigsaw, and she's not a Makita, but it was $30. Yeah, it's a nice little cheapie. It's a Bitech. You got to Bitech the bullet sometimes, but it's a cheap little jigsaw. I don't even know if it's going to work going through the two thicknesses, but we're going to try it out in a minute. So we got the jigsaw, we got the other bits and pieces that we needed. We got the screws, the glue. No, and then we went looking for the glue. Now listen, if you go to Bunnings and you say, "I want some wood glue," they walk over to the selly's stall and they'll pick up some wood glue. If you go to the local hardware store, if you go to damn near any shop in Australia, we'll sell you a bit of craft glue or a bit of wood glue. The old PVA, that white stuff that goes clear when it dries off, and it works really quickly, and it's bloody good glue. And it's cheap as buggery, it lasts forever, and it's just called wood glue. Do you think you can buy wood glue in Bali? Now, I want to preface this by saying some of the most amazing artworks and some of the most amazing woodwork is made right here in Bali, including some incredible sculptures, hence talking back to the seats that I bought the other day. Okay, so the seats I bought the other day weren't glued together. They were just stapled with little pins. And that could explain a lot, because I went to 7 or 8 shops. I ran around Bali. Honestly, we were 2 hours on the bike, one shop to the next shop, that shop to the next shop. I had photos of wood glue on my phone so I could turn around, because I didn't know what the Bahasa word for glue is. But I'm saying wood, stick, wood. And they're going, no, we don't have it. I went to paint shops. I went to polyurethane shops where they laminate stuff. They've got contact adhesive, got super glue. Do you think I could find a bloody stick of wood glue anywhere in Bali? And I went to Mitra 10. It's not Mitra 10. It's Mitra 10. Mitra 10. Oh my God, didn't have it. And I couldn't believe it. I just about had a dummy spit. I said, you mean to tell me the whole shop, the whole of Mitra 10, there's not one tube of wood glue? I don't believe it. How the hell is it possible to have no wood glue? So, honest truth, I looked at Alan, we both had sweat streaming down our face. It was a stinking hot day yesterday. So I said, bugger that, let's go home. I know that my builder has got some wood glue because he's been laminating and sticking stuff together. So I said, I'll just go and steal some of his and I'll get him to go and get me a tube later when we've got a bit more time. So I said, on the way back, we're going to pull in to grab a beer. So we stopped at the local supermarket. Lo and behold, wood glue at the bloody supermarket. Not a stick of wood glue in any department store, any hardware store, any paint store, anything to do with technical stuff, but in the bloody supermarket. And it cost a dollar for one of this. So, okay, it doesn't end there. Oh my God, so we got half a dozen of these and thought that'll just be enough. I didn't want to steal Bapak's glue because I assumed that every time I showed it to someone, they go, oh no, we haven't got it here, so it must be a good one. And then just after I got home, Fee turns up home from school and I started telling her the story. She goes, why didn't you just use some of Bapak's glue? I said, well, I was going to, but I was going to get him to go and buy me some. She goes, oh, he didn't buy that. I bought him some yesterday when he was doing the woodwork. I said, where'd you get it from? And she goes, the same place we get the wood from. I'm going, bloody hell, how much was that big tube? It was like a big bottle of it. She goes, oh, it was only $4 for the whole bottle. I paid $6 for these little tubes for 4 of them. Oh my God. Oh, look, I love Bali. It frustrates the living daylights out of me on a regular basis. And I tell you what, if you don't have the right attitude, there's no point. Look, I read a lot of the comments. Where's my son gone? My camera's having a hard time following me. I want to say something. This is important. I do read, what's going on? I do read the comments when people talk to me through or make comments on my vlog. There are a few people that just make stupid comments or regular long-winded crazy comments. And to the person who was telling me about the mole under my armpit, it was a pimple. It's okay. I sweat a lot in this heat. Every now and then you get a bit of a sweat pimple going. So I don't have any sort of serious disease. Thank you for your concern. But I do have people making the funniest, the weirdest, the strangest and the rudest suggestions. So the rude ones just get, I don't even see them, they get deleted. And 99% of the suggestions and the comments I get on my vlog are very, very encouraging. So grateful. I really do read a lot of them and I try to respond as often as I can, but they mean an awful lot to me because they give me a chance to know that I'm on track and what I'm supplying with you content-wise is hitting the bill. But look, I tell you what, this little journey today, if people say, oh, I don't like Bali, it stinks and it's this and it's that. Well, you know what, don't come here. Seriously, don't come here. Because if you're going to whinge about what you read on the news and you don't have the balls to come here yourself and check it out, there's a reason that millions of Australians come here every year because Bali is something more precious and special than almost any country I've ever been to, and I've been to 50 odd different countries. I've travelled most of my life around the entire world with work. I've been very fortunate, but this is an incredibly magic place for a lot of reasons, and I think if you watch my back catalogue, you'll understand how much I love Bali and what it means to me. But if you don't like that, if you can't tolerate a little bit of rubbish on the beach because you live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean where there's no rubbish and there's no flotsam and jetsam, try going to the Atlantic Ocean. Try to go spend some time in California where they get all the big trade winds just throwing bags and bags of plastic up on the beach. Try to go to Mexico where the beaches, while you're swimming, there's more plastic in the water there is jellyfish. It's just, but I understand that most people haven't ever travelled to the sort of places that I've been and seen and have a different perspective to what I have. If you want to complain about it, don't worry about it. Just don't watch a guy in Bali doing a vlog about Bali if all you want to do is complain about Bali. It does my head in that people sit there and go, well, why would you bloody well go there? Go somewhere else. Okay, well, why would you watch me talking about Bali if you don't like the place? Oh, look, I'm just having a whinge. But, oh, God, it does my head in how funny people are. And look, I love it. Don't stop giving me those comments because they really do make me laugh. But honestly, we're on the home stretch. I've got my big wedding present coming from Katut, and it means a lot to me. I received an incredible, beautiful Māori wedding present today from a couple that I met this last week or so, and it means it's so much from my heart. It's bringing my heritage, my Māori culture back to my wedding. It really, really does mean massive amounts to me. The progression of where we're going with these donations and with the helping of the community and the ability we're going to have in the next 6 months to get in there really seriously and help people is just about to escalate to a completely new area. But rest assured, I'll be still doing all the Muzza vlogs. I'll be still on tap doing as many of the mix of stuff that I do. I think I've got a good mix of humanitarian, of silly stuff, of nightclub stuff, of restaurants and hotels and whatever. If there's stuff you want to see, just leave a message. It's easy. If you want to keep seeing what we're doing over here, please subscribe to us, because as I said in my last vlog, we've got about 150,000 people this month. In the last 28 days, 150,000 people have watched one of my vlogs, and about 11,500 of them have subscribed. But the rest of them are just watching the vlog once and maybe coming back when they feel like it. But if you subscribe and if you enjoy the content, all it means is they suggest my content to you next time I do a new video. Doesn't cost you anything. It just means that I come up on the list of next videos to watch. So when I do a new one, you get, oh, I didn't mind that guy. I'll see what he's got to say today. If you don't like that content, flick through it. But subscribing helps me. It helps YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. And it helps the people of Bali, because what we're doing over here is really, really supporting the people in Bali and the people coming over to Bali on their holidays and on their weddings and all that sort of stuff. So listen, lots happening. The wedding's coming up in a week or two's time. We're flat out just trying to get the place ready, and I'm running out of time. I'm running out of perspiration. Tonight's the State of Origin, so I'm down at Davis Brothers. I'll probably do another little vlog tonight just to say good day, but I just thought, look, so many people love some of these funny things that we're doing. I thought, I'll show you what we're doing. It's going to look magic when it's finished, I think. I don't know, if it falls apart, at least you got to see it before it did. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. I love you all. And if you come and have a look me up, because I want to see you when you get here. Bye-bye.